Now my entry is going to be based on what price does if price open. Now what I want price to do if price open, let me go to the 15-minute time frame and show you what I want price to do. Now what I want price to do is this. I want price to simply open tomorrow, be Monday, and possibly move to the upside. If price open tomorrow and move to the upside, then I'm going to be looking for a sell opportunity to this demand zone here. That means my entry is going to be based on what price does if price open. If price open tomorrow, be Monday, and start buying to the upside, then I'm going to be looking for a sell opportunity to this demand zone here. I'm going to be showing you a review on the trade that I took last week, and also I'm going to be showing you the next trade I'm going to be taking this week on Monday. But before going to that, if you're seeing me for the first time, my name is Divine, and what I basically do on this channel is document how I trade and as well show you the mindset behind my strategy. If you want to see content like this, I want you to smash the subscribe button. Smash the subscribe button. I'll be right back. If you remember, when I analyzed GBPUSD in my previous video, I said that I was waiting for price to actually open on Monday and give us a buy to the upside, then give us a change of character to the downside, then we'll begin to sell. I'm going to be breaking down the trade that I took last week and how it played out, and possibly show you the reason behind the trade that I took. Now, what I basically do, or how I analyze my trade, is basically to understand where price is going to on the 1 hour time frame for the long run. And then what I do is basically go to the lower time frame and take advantage of that movement. That means even if I analyze trade on the 1 hour time frame, that price is going to go to a particular point, I don't just sell and allow price to move to that place because of how long it can take price to get to that point. So what I basically do is to take advantage of those movements gradually until price gets to where I want it to get to. I'm going to be showing you the breakdown here in this video. And where I'll take my trade is basically on 15 minutes time frame. I'm going to go to the 15 minute time frame and show you how it played out. Now the first trade that I took was basically on Tuesday, which is this buy here. Remember, I said I want price to buy to the upside, then I'll look for an opportunity for a sell. And the first trade I took was simply trying to take advantage of that buy movement to the upside before price are going to the downside. And how did I come about this trade? Now, when price opened on a Monday, there was no opportunity on Monday. Price was basically ranging, or price was basically consolidating, giving us equal lows and equal highs. So when price took out, or when price expanded out of this ranging phase here, then I remember that we have a demand zone at this point here. Why? Because price rallied, price based, and price expanded. So basically, when price expanded out of this point here, there was likely going to be a demand zone, and I identified the demand zone at this point here, which is basically here that I identified with this triangle here. Now, what gave me the confirmation that this place was going to hold was when price induced this liquidity at this point here, this equal lows here. Then I knew that price was likely going to hold at this demand zone, and I took it buy and targeted this swing high here. So this was my first trade here, which was 16 pips to get 39 pips. And when price gave us this based rally, price also induced liquidity at this point here. Then I knew that price was going to come back to this point at one point, because whenever price induced liquidity, price is likely going to come back to that point here. Now, what I was looking for a sell was simply for price to give us a change of character. And for me, a change of character occurred when price took out this swing low that I identified here. That means here was a low and here was the high. And when price took out the high, the low here, then I identified a supply zone from this swing low here to this swing high here. And I could see that this piece was a drop, a base, and a drop. So I used the rectangle to identify this base here. And when this base was identified, this trend of liquidity gave me a confirmation that price likely going to sweep out the liquidity, tap into this supply zone here, and go for this liquidity at this point here. And that was exactly where my take profit was. So my second trade was basically at this point here, where price gave us this drop, base, drop, and allowed price to come out and take out liquidity, the trend liquidity, and then proceed to get this liquidity that price induced earlier on. That was my second trade for the week, which was on Wednesday. So the first trade was on Tuesday. There was no opportunity on Monday. On Tuesday, there was a buy opportunity. On Wednesday, there was a sell opportunity, which is the right trend I want to see price get. Now, my next trade was simply, okay, I didn't see an opportunity to sell from this zone here, because there was no obvious supply zone for me to take an entry at this point here. So I didn't take this sell movement here. Now, when price took out this swing low here, I knew that this place was now a supply zone, and for price to induce the supply zone here, price has to induce liquidity, and this was the point where I was expecting price to induce liquidity, tap into my zone, and then sell off. But you can clearly see price failed to tap into my zone here. That means price didn't trigger my entry, and this trade did not. I didn't take this trade, so I basically took only two trade here: this sell and this buy here. And this occurred on a Thursday, which I didn't see an opportunity on a Thursday. And the opportunity I saw on Friday did not trigger me in on Friday. So there was basically no trade on Friday. Now, what is next for GBPUSD? Are we still continue going to sell? Now, price is currently at a demand level here. And for price to have taken out this swing low here, it simply means that price have induced a supply zone at this point here. That means there's basically a new supply zone at this point here. It's basically a new supply zone at this point here. Are we going to continue to sell market, or are we going to buy at this moment? Now, because price is basically on our demand zone here, and price came tap into the demand zone here, reacted and failed. It means that price is likely going to continue to downtrend. But at what point is price going to basically continue this downtrend? We're going to find out in this video right now. Now, for us to continue downtrend, we want to look for a supply zone where we can basically identify where we're going to sell from and continue the trend. Now, remember, for price not to have triggered this zone here, it simply means that at one point, price is likely going to come back to this zone here. But we don't know at what point price is going to do that. So we have to be careful while riding the market. Now, the first place I want to look at for entry is simply at this zone here or at this zone here. And for me to take an entry on this trade here, I want to simply see price do two things. First, today is Saturday. I'm analyzing this whole trade on Saturday. Now, I'm trying to tell you that before I continue the sell market, I want to simply see price do two things. First of all, I want to see what price did at this point here, what the price do here. And as I can clearly see here, if I'm to zoom this in, if I'm to put this in for long, if I'm to put this in here, you can clearly see that this demand zone is likely not going to hold anymore. So I'm going to remove the demand zone here, and probably what I can clearly see here is that price induced under liquidity at this point here, meaning that price is likely going to come back to this point at one point or the other. And for price to come back to this point, it's simply going to be that I'll be looking for a sell opportunity for price to come back to this point. And before I look for that sell opportunity, I want to see price do something if price open to on Monday. I'm analyzing this whole trade on Saturday. So if price open on Monday, I want to see price do two things before I continue this sell market. First, for me to sell, I want to simply see price start buying to the upside. Then I'll look for a sell opportunity for me to continue the sell. But if I will not continue the sell, what I want to see price do is this. If price open on Monday, I want price to start going to the downside. And I want price to basically take out this liquidity here and possibly take out this liquidity at this point here. Then I'll be looking for a buy opportunity. That means my entry is based on what price does if price open on Monday. First, I want to see price. Let me put this into this side here. I want to see price sell to this point here, right? And I'll be looking for a buy opportunity. A buy opportunity from this point here. If price get to this point by simply selling to this point, and if I get to this point and give me a change of character, then I'll be looking for a buy opportunity to target this liquidity at this point here. That's my first entry, or that's what I'll do first if price open on Monday. But if price fails to go to the downside and what am I saying fry for? If price fails to go to the downside and price proceeds to start going to the upside, then I'm going to change my bias. What I'm going to be looking for is this. I want to simply see price start going to the upside, induce this place as a liquidity, tap into this supply zone here, and then continue a sell to this supply zone, to this liquidity point here. That means my entry is going for a sell is going to basically be if price open on Monday and start selling, so then start buying to the upside. I want to basically see price come into this zone here and give me a change of character. Then I'm going to take an entry from this point and target this liquidity at this point here. So these are my two outcomes for this trade. My reaction is based on what price does if price open. Remember, I said if price go to the downside, then I'll be looking for a buy opportunity to sweep out this liquidity at this point here. But if price open tomorrow on Monday and start going to the upside here, then I'll be looking for a sell opportunity if price simply give me a change of character. That's going to be my outcome for GBPUSD if price open on Monday. But because the trend is bearish, I want to simply see price buy to the upside on Monday. That means I want price to move to the upside, tap into this zone here, give me a change of character, then I'll continue the sell to this point here. That will be all for GBPUSD. Now let me analyze another pair that I'll be looking out for again this week, which is USDCHF. Alright, let's analyze USDCHF and possibly know where price is going to be heading to if price opens tomorrow being Monday. Now for us to analyze this trade, we want to simply understand what price is doing on the higher time frame. Then we can use that higher time frame information to understand what we're going to be doing on the lower time frame. And for us, it's always the daily time frame. We want to move to the daily time frame and understand the overall direction of the market by simply using our support and resistance to understand where price is heading to, and possibly use that information to make decisions on the lower time frame. And for us to identify where price is heading to, we want to simply use our trend line, which is our support level, identify support level, and for every support, there's always a resistance. We'll simply use here to identify this resistance and calculate that this place is resistance. A valid support and resistance has 3 or more touches on it, and for this, it's very valid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and even 6. So this is a very valid support and a very valid resistance. Now, for us to interpret what price is doing here, we want to identify the key levels. Where are the key levels? And for us to identify the key level, we want to simply identify this point where price got to here as the support key level, here, and basically at this point here, is basically the resistance key level. So our interest now is to understand how price is behaving at this support and resistance key levels here. Then we can be able to use that information to know what we're going to do next. And we want to identify what price is doing on these key levels on the 4 hours time frame. Now on the 4 hours time frame, we want to understand how price is moving on this key level by simply identifying the swing highs and the swing low, and most importantly, identifying supply and demand zones. And for us to do that, I want to simply understand that this point is the first point of high. This key level here is the first high that price gave us, and this point is the low that price gave us after the key level. Now, when price gave us this key level, the next high that price gave us was simply here. Here was the next high that price gave us, right? It's a swing high, swing low, and that swing high, and price also gave us another swing low at this point here. And that swing low at this point here. And this is a swing high. And when price was a swing high, price gave us another swing low here. And when price was a swing low, there was also a swing high, which is basically at this point here. This is the swing high, and then this is the last swing low that price was, which is the key level. Now our interest now, having identified these whole swing highs and swing low, know that price is basically on a downtrend, and for us to confirm a very strong bullish trend, we want to see price break above this swing high here. But until price break above this point here, every other thing is a retracement, and price is likely going to retrace back into any of this zone here to either continue to sell or to break this swing high here. And what this tells us is that at this point here, price is simply making a retracement, which we can take opportunity of by simply following price to retrace back to wherever price wants to retrace and know what we're going to do next. But for us to say you're going to be very bullish on this trend, we want to simply see price break above this swing high here. Now, for us to know where we're going to retrace into, we want to simply identify the demand supply zones that occurred at this point here. That means we want to identify every supply zone that price printed from this swing high here to this key level here. And let me zoom in properly. For us to do that, I want to simply identify that this point here is the first point of supply. This is the first point of supply. This is the first point of supply, and the next point of supply here is simply here. Here is the next point of supply, and another point of supply is simply here. So basically, we identify 3 supply zones in this point here. Remember, we identify the swing high and swing low, then identify the supply zones from this point here. And what I'm doing next is simply go to the 1 hour time frame and understand how we're going to refine these supply zones to become point of interest, and then be able to identify where the liquidity is. Now, if I have to refine these supply zones I've identified there at this point, we want to basically use a candlestick pattern to identify this zone, which is simply this dodgy candlestick here is the point of interest, and this one here is the point of interest. And if I have to refine this one here, we're going to basically be using this point as our point of interest. So basically, having refined these supply zones here, we want to understand how price behave at the first point of supply to know if price is likely going to trigger to the upside or price is going to respect this supply zone. And for us to do that, we want to simply understand how price behave at this point. When price got to this supply zone here, it reacted and failed. Even having to meet all the criteria, this liquidity, everything is here, it reacted and failed. For that to have occurred, that means price is about to change to the upside, and possibly this place is now becoming a demand zone, because this is a demand zone caused by a failed supply zone, which is referred to as a flip zone. Now, having this occur, we want to simply see how price is going to react at this point here, because if price gets to this point here, price is basically going to react to this point. And how I want price to behave is this: once price gets to this point and react, I want to simply see price come back into this zone for a short time sell and then proceed to the upside, because price has failed the first supply zone. So now an entry on USDCHF is to simply wait for price to come back into this demand zone here and then proceed to the upside. And I'm going to be taking this trade. I'm going to be taking this trade. I'm going to be longing this position here if price come back to this point and give me a change of character. My stop loss is going to basically be below this swing high, below this key level here, and I'm going to be targeting this supply zone here. I'm going to be targeting supply zone as my TP1, and price might likely break above this swing high here because price is reacting from a support key level on daily time frame. So basically, my outcome for USDCHF is to understand that price might likely start going to the upside. And before I start buying this market, I want to simply see price retrace back into this zone here and push to the upside by giving me a change of character. And I'm going to be taking this trade come this week. I think this will be all for this video. I'm going to see you on the next one. Peace.